Hey, what's up? It's your boy Los from the Community Leaders Podcast, and I am here today with Shantel Franklin. How you doing, Shantel?
I'm doing so good. I'm so happy to be here.
Did I say that right?
Shantel.
Shantel. So we were just talking about how people say your name.
Yeah.
And you like it to be Shantel?
Yes, because you know what? I really be cool with people until they start freestyling on my name.
Okay.
So I do like Shantel just because I get asked so many times, Shantel, Chantal, so many different iterations. So I just stick with Shantel.
Shantel.
Yes.
Okay.
And I just got brave enough to start like correcting people and be like, Shantel.
No, you should.
Shantel.
You should. You should. So, but what do they call you when you're at home?
You know what? My friends call me Shanny, like Annie. They also call me Shan. Sometimes, if you really my friend from back in the day, they call me Shan Bands.
Shan Bands?
Because I got the bands. So
Okay, okay, let's go. So, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Yeah, so I am a legislative liaison with the Office of the Illinois Attorney General, which is a very fancy governmenty way of saying a lobbyist. I am also dual career. I am a real estate agent as well, and I've been doing that for about 4 years.
Okay, so a lobbyist. Now, for the people that don't know what a lobbyist is, can you let us know?
Absolutely. So lobbyists, we essentially use our relationships to influence policy. And that doesn't necessarily mean, I think when I say it out loud, it sounds like bribery. It's not that. It's just having relationships with people and being able to get policies passed, essentially. So I would almost call it a step up from like policy advocacy, because there are actually relationships with legislators that can help you get things passed.
Okay, so how long have you been doing that?
I've been a legislative liaison for about 2 years, but before that, I've been with the Office of the Illinois Attorney General for 5 years. Before that, I was a community outreach liaison.
Okay, how did that look?
Yeah, so it was like day to day, going to community meetings, getting to know people, doing presentations about scam, fraud, consumer fraud mostly, because that is like one of the biggest issues that our office deals with. So yeah, it was a lot of presentations. It was a lot of moving around. And now it's a lot of travel to Springfield. So January through June, I am almost like part-time in Springfield. I travel every single week. Anytime the legislator is in, I am there because a lot of things happen under the dome that you may not know about. So it's really important to like be boots on the ground when legislative session is in.
Okay, so you're also an entrepreneur. You're a real estate agent.
I am.
Okay. What got you into that?
You know, my dad got me into real estate. So, funny story, I got done with grad school and I came home, and my dad, he's not really like tech savvy and stuff like that. You would think I'm describing somebody that's like 74 years old. My dad is like 47. But looks really young, but does not engage with like online anything. So he would have me when I got out of grad school reviewing a lot of contracts for him, DocuSigns, etc. And I'm like, you know, you should pay for me to go to real estate school. Like when I'm looking at these documents and I'm seeing how much these people are getting paid, I'm like, you should definitely pay for me to go to real estate school. And he did that back in 2020, actually 2019, even before the pandemic. But I became licensed in 2020. And it's been great ever since.
So can you talk about your first deal? How did that look? Like your first real estate deal, how exciting was that? Was it exciting? Was it like a yes moment? Let us know a little bit about that.
Yes, so they say it usually take you like 3 months to close your first deal. I'm in a unique situation because not only did my dad pay for me to go to real estate school, he was my first client.
Okay.
So he wanted to buy a condo. And it wasn't a condo for him to live in. It was just like, how do I buy a piece of investment? And so we saw a condo out in Garfield Park, and it was only at that time $80,000. And so he's like, I want you to represent me in this transaction, and that was my first deal.
Awesome. So it was exciting. And you kept the money in the family.
Okay, I love that. The fact that we get to shuffle the money through the family, and watching it happen like generationally, like it is so cool to be a part of that.
Okay. So what do you do for the community now, and what community?
Yes. So I am in the Austin community. I am current. What do you mean when you ask what do I do for the community?
What do you do for the community? How you giving back for the
Yes.
community? Yeah.
So first of all, I'm a landlady.
Okay.
Uh, so not only am I like in the community, but I actually like invested there, purchased a property. I'm providing housing to my tenants. It's also a mutual beneficial situation because it helps me to do what's called house hacking, and that's pay little to nothing for my housing expenses. So first, I'm a landlady. I'm providing housing. Secondly, I am the block club president.
Okay.
The people on the block know me as Prez. They call me Miss Prez. And if anything goes on with my cart, everybody knows how to reach out to me.
Okay. Awesome.
And meaning like a ticket or something, or a boot, dependent.
So if someone gets a boot, they call you?
You know what? No. If I get one.
Oh, if you get one. Oh.
They call me. You know, they
let you know,
hey,
me,
yeah.
The boot man's around. Cuckoo.
Absolutely. Yes, they will send that bird call. So I'm always excited about that. Yeah. So on top of, like I said, being a landlady, block club president, I'm also just like living there, learning there, advocacy wise.
What's the area? Austin area. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm in Austin. I'm actually on a little rougher block in Austin. Not to tell everybody where I live, but
right.
Look, if we had to be
that
near,
part,
right? If we had to be near Cicero and Lake Street, I might live somewhere nearby. And you know, when I actually first moved on the block, it was actually so much different than it is right now.
Okay.
And I like to think that just like being young, being in the community, and like being a part of the change you want to see, right? That has been really helpful. Like when I first moved over there, it was a lot of guys on the block. They were selling drugs. It was just like not a lot of camaraderie. Like everybody kind of moved around these people, and it just made it a lot harder to actually see myself in the community because of what was going on around me, and it wasn't something that represented quality of life. You know, It was like struggle. It was like survival, right? The reasons that people are out there doing things like selling drugs, etc. So I like to credit myself for like actually being brave enough to make a move like that, because I actually lived in Oak Park before I moved to Austin.
A lot nicer.
Yes, yeah. So it was absolutely different, but I still can do things in Oak Park, but just like living amongst my people, like nothing feels better than that. And so being a part of the transformation that I wanted to see. And so as a result, we don't have anybody that hangs out on our block anymore, which is absolutely great, because there's a lot of like owners there and seniors, and they've been there for years. So that was always like a little dangerous situation. But yeah, I feel like the quality of life has increased. I also, in the summertime, I have not been doing it this season because it's getting too cold outside, but I also do like cleanups on a block. So like I want this block to be known for something different than it's usually known for. Anytime, like I say, anytime I tell people where I live, they're like, ooh. So to be in that and be proud of that and show that pride and, again, just like transform the communities, that means so much to me.
So it looks like you made change in that small community.
I would say so. Small but mighty, you know, and I think that I want to expand that. And so that's what makes me like continue to stay involved and do different things in the community.
So what made you interested in CLF?
So I had learned about CLF through a few different alumni. So Jackie Hoffman, I run with him in the community, and he was a part of the very first cohort, and he told me, like, you need to be a part of this. Like, you need to go through this experience because, of course, we know that CLF is an experience. And he's like, you need to go through this experience, as well as Crystal Gardner. Again, just two people I knew that were heavy hitters in the community. And to watch them go through the program and the experience and learn more about themselves, it inspired me to want to be able to do so. So, yeah, I gave it a shot. I applied, and here we go.
All right. So what has been your most memorable experience with CLF as of right now? Because you're still in it, right? We still got a whole year to go.
Yes.
Right. What would be from right now? What would be one of your most memorable experiences with them?
Yeah. So the Global Leadership Network, we had a chance to go there. which was awesome, right? Like we're learning about leadership from leaders all around the
Yeah,
world.
it's actually where you and I met.
Absolutely, yes. So of course, the best experience I've had.
Let's go.
But I also just wanted to note, like, it wasn't even just that actual like network conference situation. It was the camaraderie that came with that. It was like one night we went out, all of the fellows and as well as the staff, and we went out to bowling.
Yes.
And I just got a chance to get to know these people. It felt like cousin night, you know?
Okay.
And when I say these people, I'm talking about my cohort. So I got to know everybody and just kind of hang with them. And everything just felt so natural. And so that was probably the most memorable moment for me, because that's when I really knew, like, this is family. Like, so I've it's been up ever since. I'm talking about anytime I see any of them, we're just connected in so many ways. And like you mentioned, it's only been a couple months. We're not even done with the actual 2025 cohort experience. So yeah, that was probably my most memorable moment. And yeah, because we just don't get a chance to slow down and connect with our people enough.
Right. So you guys just came from, I believe it's the Obama Institute?
Yes, the Obama Foundation.
Okay.
Yeah.
How was that experience?
That was so nice. Well, first of all, to know me is to know I love Obama, okay?
Okay.
So my dog's name is actually Diva Giselle Knowles Carter Franklin Obama. She is an Obama, okay?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I absolutely love the Obamas, and so like just to be able to like be a part of what they're building. So they
Right.
actually have like space inside of the University of Chicago, I believe. And yeah, we were upstairs just kind of getting to know what the presidential center is going to look like, connecting with those individuals and just learning more about the work that they're doing. And it's so impactful. So that was really a great experience. The only thing that would have been a little different is if Obama would have showed up.
Come on,
then,
somebody.
at that point, look, if Obama would have showed up, then look, CLF all day, every day. So hopefully we can get him for cohort 26.
Let's see. Alex, you heard her. Alex, you heard her. Let's try for that. So let's talk about you a little bit more, okay?
Yeah.
So you were born and raised on the west side of Chicago?
Yes. So I am from the West Side all day. And I really don't claim like a specific part of the West Side because I grew up on different parts of the West Side.
Okay.
And people are like, okay, well, which parts or et cetera. And it's like, for me, I was in North Lawndale, I was in West Humboldt, I was in Garfield, I was in Austin, all because I just kind of had an unstable childhood in which I was pretty much dealing with homelessness. And as a result of that, I went to 4 different grammar schools, right? All in different communities, 4 different high schools, all in different communities. And so, yeah, no matter what I did in this world, all roads led back to the West Side. And here I am now, out in Austin, but again, obsessed with the community, encouraging everybody I know to live here, work here, invest here, lead here, see yourself a part of the community, and yeah, be a part of the transformation. So I'm pushing that the same thing I'm doing. I am practicing what I preach, and I'm encouraging everyone else to do the same.
Awesome. Good, some good stuff that you're still in the community, even though you went through some trials and tribulations.
Yeah.
As a young child.
Yes.
So your mother and father were together?
No, so my mother and father were like kind of young on the street doing their thing. And it's so, I give my mom so much grace because by the time she had me, she was 19 and I was her 4th child. So, I mean, I can think about my life at 19. There's no way I could have parented 3 kids, right? Like, or 4, right? At that point, 3 others. And so, yeah, my mom, she, like I said, I give her a lot of grace. And then my father, I met my father actually when I was like maybe 8 or 9. He was in prison. So the only thing I knew of my dad was just like I had a dad, but like I wasn't connected to his side of the family until, I ran into one of my aunts at the aid office, right?
Okay.
And so from there, my dad and I are pretty close. My mom, again, I still have a relationship with my mom, absolutely love her. But a lot of that trial and stuff growing up was just like not really having my parents necessarily present. and I understand why each of them could not be there, but it kind of led to me having an unstable childhood in which I had to live with different people when we experienced homelessness, bopping around communities wherever people would allow us, me and my siblings, to come.
You and your siblings, you said you and your siblings.
Yeah.
What about your mom?
You know, my mom, she always kind of moved around herself. So it was a time where we were all moving around together, but then we just kind of got separated.
Okay.
Just because it was a lot to, one, ask you, hey, can I come here? But then when you're like, hey, can I and my 3 kids or 4 kids come here? It's like, that's a lot to ask of people, especially if you don't have any resources to bring forth. And so that it was a hard ask. And so I feel like my mom, she kind of just like went with her friends and things like that, just kind of coming off more invisible so that she could make sure her kids could stay wherever.
So did you have like an older sister or brother that kind of like helped you guys move along to these different places? Because you sound like you're the baby of.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Okay, so dad's oldest, mom's youngest, everybody's favorite, of course. Yeah, so no, I do have older siblings, but again, we just were all separated, so we couldn't really do the whole like one person lead us to something else. It literally was like, you know, this friend will let you stay over here, or you can go live with this godmom. That was a big thing when I was growing up. This godmother will take you. And because I was the youngest, it was just hard for me to be a part of that. Like, so I have 2 older sisters and an older brother, in which, you know, they're bopping around to different places. But my 2 older sisters, they were like 2 peas. They're still 2 peas in a pod. They both live in Iowa. But saying that to say, they would often go places together. I was often, you know, young and annoying, and they didn't want to deal with me. So I was the underdog. And so because of that, it just became whomever would allow, that's where I'm going.
Okay. So when did you get some stability in your life?
Yeah.
In what age?
Yeah, probably about 14. So
Okay.
I'm a freshman in high school. I'm at Marshall at that point.
Okay.
On the west side.
Uh-huh.
And my father was still in prison, but he was getting ready to come home, and he had gotten married. And so at the time, having family issues, I was living with my grandma, and my grandma was like, you know, you have to go. Like, you know, it was between me and my aunt, and she was like, you know, that's her daughter, right? I'm her granddaughter. So she was like, you know, you need to leave. And my stepmom at the time was the only person that would let me come and live with her. So while I was planning to have this relationship and develop this relationship with my dad when he came home, it kind of got forced because I had to move in with my stepmom before he even came home, probably around 9 months beforehand. But she lived in the suburbs in Bolingbrook, so I started going to Bolingbrook High School, and then things, like I said, were absolutely different from what I had just experienced at like Marshall.
Just totally different. So totally different. How did you adjust?
It was hard for me at first because being so unstable, I just didn't even care about school. So like, when you bounced around so many places, it's just like starting over so many different times. You always feel like you're behind the 8 ball. All these people already know their friends. They already acclimated. They know the teachers, etc. And I felt like I had to always like be starting over. So it was pretty challenging, but I would say, you know, just, you know, finding myself like in community, and my family was there for me, obviously, like when my dad came home and stuff. Like it was to the point where, you know, he's like, you know, why aren't you making good grades in school? And I answered, because I don't feel like it. Just based on my experience of just like, I don't like school. School is an unstable place for me, so I don't want to be here, right?
Or kind of like which one? Which one are you talking about?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so it became that very next, he was like, that was, you know, his response was like, that was a dumb answer. And I'm like, okay, well, you know, it makes sense to me. And because of that, we ended up in a situation in which the very next semester I think we were on, I got straight A's. Straight A's and like 1B.
Okay.
And that was in like gym, because nobody ever want to mess up their hair in gym. So yes, again, just like proving that to my dad. So that helped me to like, okay, I can't see myself as distant from this school. I'm here and I'm in these classes and I have to perform, right? Like that is something that kind of shapes you. And what I realized is that, not doing as well in school growing up kind of shaped what I was able to do as it related to college. So again, everything worked out the way that it should, though, because now you have me here now.
Awesome. So you got through high school.
Okay.
Now you're in college.
Yeah.
How did that look like?
Yeah, so I was tired of washing dishes. I'm like, my stepmom used to have you have to wash the dishes before you go to bed policy. If I came in from the city at 2:00 in the morning and she woke up and the dishes were not done, it was going to be an issue, okay? And so I was like, hey, love y'all, but like I need to go to college. Like I'm tired of washing dishes. And so I wanted to go to SIU Edwardsville because one of my friends was there. But in chatting with my dad and just allowing him to help me out with making that decision, we realized, Carbondale was a smarter move for me because my grandfather was there as a pastor. And so he was a pastor in Carbondale, and then I went to the university, and so I had a little bit of support down there, especially with it being 5 hours away.
Okay. So how was college for you? Well, how was the college experience that people always talk about?
Yeah, it was the reinvention of Shantel Franklin. That's when I became Shantel and not Shantel or Chantal, right? Like I really got to know who I was because this is a stable environment for me, right? So I got 4 years to grow and to learn and to be all that I can be. So I did pretty much everything in college, from honor student, pledging a sorority. I was the homecoming queen, like anything you could think of, undergraduate student government. I was the chief of staff. Like, I pretty much did it, like, all. Because I'm like, man, I get a chance to reinvent myself. I'm about to do it big. And so, yeah, I think I graduated like a 3.79.
Okay.
And just, like, really, like I said, reinvented myself completely, or really got to know myself. So I would almost say that, because I only knew of myself unstable, feeling unworthy because I wasn't able to stay different places and things like that. So it really like helped boost me up as an individual, because it's like, yeah, this is who I am. I am this, I am that. Yeah, so college was great. Shout out to the Salukis. SIU Carbondale is in the building. Class of 2016. Your 2014 homecoming queen is in the building. Yes, loved college.
Sounds like you found yourself in college and you saw all the potential that you had inside you. It was just cluttered with all that other stuff that was in another place.
Yes.
And you said, this place is where I'm supposed to be at. Thank you, Lord Jesus, for showing me who I am in you.
Yes.
And Shantel came out, or Shantel.
Okay. Yes, that's exactly what happened. And I equate all of my success and how far I've come, even in this life, to God and like my relationship. This is a testament that God is real, because there's no way you come out on top of many of the things that I've been through and still shine, And one of my favorite sayings is like, the best is yet to come, because I truly do feel that. Like, even though, yeah, I'm 30. All right, reveal my age. I'm 30 now, but I feel like life is really just getting started. Like, and so, yeah, I just feel like the best is yet to come, and I'm coming for all of it, okay?
Awesome. I love that. I love that energy. So now, in your 30s, right, you've done so many things, right? You graduated from college. You've done so many jobs. What's next for you? I mean, you have experienced the lows, and now, from what I'm hearing, the highs.
Yeah.
So what's next for you?
Obviously the best. But again, I just take every day like as being grateful for the experience of life. To be honest and completely vulnerable with you, I'm allowing God to kind of lead me, because I feel like what I'm doing is like service-based. Like, I feel like I'm on this earth, in this earthly body, to do what God wants me to do. You know what I'm saying? And so I wish I could like etch it out exactly what's to come for me. But like I said, like, it's so hard for me to do that, because like even being where I'm at now is like a dream. Like, you cannot have told Shantel at 9 years old she would be this cool, this popping, this funny, be paid to be myself. yeah, I just never even imagined getting this far. So I just say I'm open to all the experiences God has for me. I'm excited. I'm grateful for every single day, and I truly know the best is yet to come.
Awesome. So if you had a 5-year plan, which I know you're working on,
Yes.
what does that look like?
Yeah, so I know one, I'm gonna be, probably not dual career anymore. Just because I want to be able to I want to put all my hats together. So we talk about why I got into CLF. Because I know I wear so many hats, right? Landlady, realtor, what else? Legislative liaison, lobbyist, landlord. Like it's so many. I wanted to like bring all of these things together, and so I would say that I see me bringing all, and I'm a host, right? I'm a runner, like I'm fitness. I just do so many different things that I see all of it coming together and me accepting them all as my identity. So not being boxed into any one particular thing, just being a Shan of all trades. You like how I did that? Shantel.
Okay. Y'all heard that? Y'all, okay. So if you had a superpower, what would it be in detail?
I would probably be able to fly. And I would say that because if I could fly, I feel like I could be closer to God. Like if I could be in the sky, I can get places pretty fast. So yeah, I feel like I would want to fly. And something about flying to me just feels free. And so I feel like throughout my life, just chasing liberations, not being chained by any of my experiences, like all of those things, I just feel like I would just float in the sky. So I will fly. And I'm fly.
And for other guys watching, she is single.
I am. Shantel Sells Properties is my Instagram. We can start the vetting process there.
Well, Shantel, thank you for coming down to the Community Leaders Podcast. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. Thank you to CLF. Thank you so much for the opportunity to come and sit down and like tell my story, right? Like, I don't think there's ever been a time, especially with doing so much and wearing so many hats, where things are completely focused on me, right? Like I'm a realtor, I'm doing service, legislative liaison, I'm doing, advocacy, working on policy. So it's rare that I get a chance to ever sit down and just like talk about me and my life. So I'm so grateful for CLF for this experience. And a lot of people I know usually have to pay to do something like this. And so I'm so grateful that they're able to offer something like this to us. I'm grateful for you for hosting this podcast for us. And I can't wait until it comes out.